Now we're going to bring the soil from the aisles into the bed area. Understand that when you're creating a garden like this, you will want to till your bed area at least 8 inches deep. That's because that's where the roots are going to go, and you want that to be nice and soft. You do not want your aisle area to be tilled deeply, because that only makes it more difficult to work in, and it brings up extra weed seeds. We basically till the aisle about 2 inches deep. Then we will pull soil from the aisle into the bed area, as I will show you. So I'll go out about 21 inches, and I will take 2 inches of dirt, pull it right underneath the string. And I'm not really making ridges yet. I'm just bringing soil into the bed area, and I will soon be flattening that bed area so that it will be about 5 inches higher than the aisle. Now I will go to the other side and pull dirt into the bed area under the string. Again, about 2 inches. And you'll see some roots and maybe a few weeds, leaves, things like that. We will get those out of the bed as we go along, certainly rocks. Want to understand that we are creating a nursery for our young plants, our seeds and our seedlings. And so we want this bed area to be nice and soft and easy to work in. Now we will make the top flat and level it. So we're going to pull the soil from the ridges into the center of the bed. You want to do your raking toward the end that you want to be high. Now these beds should be almost perfectly level. We are only interested in about 1 inch of fall in 30 feet. If you make your steps equal and your movements uniform, then it becomes very fast and you end up with a nice uniform bed. Removing weeds, roots, rocks, any extraneous material that we don't want in the bed comes out during this process. set the level in the center of the bed, and you want to check the bubble, find out where the level is. Want the bubble right in the center. So we are 1/2 inch low on this end right now. Mark the other end, move the level, do it again. Now we are 1/4 to 1/2 inch low on the opposite end. So we have a little bit of a bump right here in the middle, just a little bit of a high spot. We will rake that out. If it were 1 inch or more, we would need to move dirt with a shovel. But because it's so little, we can do it with a rake. Just moving a little dirt from the center of the bed to this end so that we are level. One more time with the level. Perfect. Again, right on the money. And we're good. I'd like you to look now at the bed. You'll notice that it is directly under the strings. It's nice and level and flat. And we're now ready to create the ridges and make the soil bed area where we'll be planting. We do that by taking soil from the center of the bed and pulling it to the ridge like this, so that we have about a 4-inch high ridge on the inside, and that will be about 6 inches higher than the aisle on the outside. You'll notice that we're bringing up some small roots and things like that we have not managed to get rid of as we were tilling and working with the bed. These will all be removed from the garden. Now, as we start coming down the other side, we want to make sure that we don't make a concave appearance in the bottom. That kind of looks like a trench, rounded trench right now. Our finished product we want to have nice and flat, and so this is how you must do it. You start at the opposite ridge and you pull straight toward you, lifting as you get close to the string. You see how that base is flat? So starting at the ridge, pull toward you and lift. Pull and lift. And it takes 2 or 3 times to get it all nice and smooth. Take your time. This is the kind of thing that is worth the effort, because once you have this done, you have a nursery for your plants that gives them exactly the amount of water, exactly the amount of space, the protection even from wind this ridge will protect seedlings and small plants from wind to some degree. So it's worth the effort to do it right. And I'll show you another trick here in a minute to make it solid so that it doesn't come down in the first rain or when water hits it. If you pull it too far, too hard, then your ridge will go collapsing into the aisle. You see there, I kind of got a little over eager and pulled it a little further than I should have. Now, if I have done this uniformly at every step of the way, then that flat center area there should be still level. We're going to check it. But before we do, I want to do something else that will solidify this, make it a little firmer so that it will hold up against rains and other abuse. So what I will do is I'll take the rake and tap it firmly right at the base of the ridge. That settles the soil. It packs it a little bit tighter in the ridge. It also makes it a little tiny bit wider, only by maybe ½ an inch on each side, but it does help solidify the ridges. Do the other side. Only takes a couple of minutes to do this, but I've found that it's worthwhile. Makes the ridges stronger, widens that planting area just a little bit. Okay, now before I rake that out and have it ready, I want to double check the level. Starting again at the high end, center of the bed, right on the money. Perfect. And this is a 24-foot long bed. We have less than ½ of an inch of fall in 24 feet. So, assuming that I'm going to be watering manually, I might want to have just a little bit of fall, maybe ½ an inch. So what I will do is, as I rake the base of this, the center area where we'll plant, I will rake it toward this end, bringing just a little bit of dirt this way. You don't want to break down your ridges, and so you have to turn the rake sideways so that it's only coming to the base of the ridges. By the way, you'll notice that I'm using a 14-inch rake. Do not like a 16-inch rake. It's too big to get into the bed. It's also heavy and cumbersome to use. So 14 inches, which is 14 tines. One more time with the level. Good. Good. And good. Now, if this was out of level, if this end were too high, I would get a shovel and I would bring soil from the high end to the low end. Excuse me, and I'll just do that as if to show you. If this end was 2 inches higher than that end, I'd want to move about an inch of dirt from this half of the bed to that half. You don't want to take dirt from somewhere else and bring it. You just want to take some dirt and throw it into that end of the bed. And it's as simple as that. Now, some folks might think that we're ready to plant, but we have neglected a very important step, and that is adding the natural mineral nutrients. We've got a pre-plant mix, which is primarily calcium, and it is the foundation of a good feeding program. We also have the weekly feed, and we will put 1 ounce per foot of the pre-plant and a ½ ounce per foot of the weekly feed into the soil. Then we will till it in, and then we'll be ready to plant. We're now putting pre-plant mix onto the soil bed, 24 ounces in a 24-foot bed. This is 16 ounces right here. We'll add another 8 ounces. With practice, you'll become proficient at putting that down evenly throughout the entire length of the bed. We will now apply 12 ounces of the weekly feed. Half as much as the pre-plant. And that's it. Okay, we now have applied the pre-plant and weekly feed to the soil bed. Now we're going to dig it in 8 inches deep into the planting area. If you've done your job properly with the shovel or tiller originally, this is already soft because it's been tilled up already in the bed. So all you have to do is turn the soil over basically to the depth of the shovel. Now that we've dug the nutrients into the soil, we're now ready to do the final preparation before we plant. As you can see, it's pretty hilly and messed up. Luckily, the ridges are in pretty good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rake and smooth the center out, remembering to bring the soil this direction because this is what we want to have the high, because we want this to be the high end of the bed. punch the ridges just a little bit again. Make sure they're good and solid. I think I will rebuild just a little bit on this side. Would you please pull the string taut and reattach it? Thank you. Solidify the sides of the ridge. Pull the rake through it one more time. Double check the level. And with any luck, we'll be ready to plant. See how we did. Perfect. On the money. Good. Don't be discouraged if yours doesn't come out that well that fast. It is worth the effort, and you'll quickly get better as you do this. The next time we get together, maybe we'll be able to show you how to plant. First, small seeds, then large seeds, and then seedlings. Thank you.